Hi everyone, it's Dr. Shefali. I have just returned from the most magnificent transformational weekend of my life, I think. I was recently at the Oprah Winfrey Super Soul Session event, Super Soul TV event in Los Angeles, where I was part of a fantastic group of luminaries and thought leaders and change agents presenting our ideas to the world. It was at UCLA in an auditorium, a hall of about maybe 1,700 or 2,000 people, and each one of us got to come on stage and speak from our heart. So yesterday I had to leave LA and go straight to Detroit, where I was doing another talk, and I wrote about my experience there. And I wanted to share it with you through my voice, my being, because I felt it was too expansive and had too much emotion to simply be read. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote on my blog. My 7 biggest takeaways from my weekend with Oprah. I just spent the last 2 days in LA at Oprah's Super Soul event with the most amazing people ever. First off, Oprah herself. There's not much I can add to what you already know her to be, except that she is more than you know her to be. More real, more relatable, more authentic, more and more divine. And then there was, as Oprah calls him, the rock star of the spiritual world, Eckhart Tolle. You have all seen him on TV, perhaps, or in lectures. What you may not know is that what you see is what he is all the time. As Oprah said when we were toasting with wine and tequila shots later at night, Eckhart, we need to drink this stuff just to get to the presence you already have. He is the epitome of stillness and presence, bar none. Then there was my friend, entrepreneur extraordinaire Marie Forleo, who has created an empire helping others manifest their passions and reach their dreams. She has allowed thousands to merge their highest selves with their work selves and pave the way for them to reclaim purpose and meaning in their lives. She just blew me away with her energy, her realness, her authenticity, and her huge heart. Then there were those I had never met before. There was the surreal and graceful Kris Carr, who has created a movement through her own relationship with cancer called My Crazy Sexy Cancer. She has allowed millions to redefine their relationship with this disease and turn it on its head. Sitting next to her at dinner was perhaps one of my sweetest moments in this weekend. I got the privilege to bear witness to a woman who couldn't be more badass funny and yet so powerful in her ability to stay wide open and vulnerable. I had heard about Carolyn Myss for all my life. Renowned medical mystic, intuitive, and spiritual healer. Everyone in the room recognized that she had a power that Oprah called kinda scary. It was a treat for me to see her as a human being hanging loose and enjoying the moment. It reminded me that at the end of the day, each of these teachers I revere are just human. And to pedestalize them is to rip them from their greatest essence, which is their heart, which is just like ours. And then I met the unbelievable Amandla Stenberg. This 17-year-old has done more in her young life than I did in all of my first 30. She spoke about using her voice to stand up for what she believed in, and that true power comes from reclaiming who you truly are. This fierce activist is also a creative talent, having appeared in the Hunger Games trilogy. She blew everyone away with her freshness and clarity of spirit that only the young can have. I couldn't wait to meet Cheryl Strayed, could not wait, the one who wrote the book Wild, and the movie was made after. It was going to be one of my star-struck moments. I knew it, and the moment delivered. She was beyond awesome, so real, so present, so ready to bear her heart, and most importantly, she felt it was almost her duty, her sacred obligation, to make the people around her feel their most amazing selves. I asked her, why didn't you just go to Italy or India like Elizabeth Gilbert? I mean, seriously, why the Pacific Trail for 94 days? She looked at me and said, some journeys are meant to be done alone. The wretched and long way. I needed to go so far deep inside myself, and I needed to not talk to anyone for such a long time. And then she shrugged her shoulders, and with her wry sense of humor, she said, and I only had $1,000 to my name. She reminded me that going inward is the only way to resurrect the soul, and that if we have lost ourselves, there is a way back, even if it takes 94 days of solitude in the wilderness. The next bright star I could not wait to hug was Shaka Senghor. If you have not seen his recent talk with Oprah on SuperSoul, grab some tissues and go watch it now. This man was convicted of second-degree murder and spent 19 years in prison, most of it or much of it in solitary confinement. Out for just 5 years now, he has become a teacher extraordinaire, spreading the message of redemption and healing to all who suffer from a childhood they had no choice but to fall victim to, just as he had. Being with Shaka, you can see a man who carries the weight of his past on his shoulders and the crushing decisions he made reflected in his deep, dark eyes. But you also see someone who takes his mandate very seriously to ensure that others do not fall prey to his choices. So he has now set off to transform and enlighten young men and women who grew up like him every moment of his waking life. This is his life's mission, and boy, does he embody it. You meet Shaka, and you are allowed to remember that you are indeed blessed. But more than that, to remember that enlightenment mostly comes after pain. When you are with Shaka, you feel you are with an enlightened being. He was a gift to me. And then there was the superstar Kerry Washington. Yes, the Kerry Washington. That ethereal, fierce, stunning, talented beyond belief Hollywood sensation. That Kerry Washington. She talked about overcoming the prevalent stereotypes around race, gender, beauty, and how she broke them down one by one, using curiosity, her relationship with the divine, and mindfulness to help her through. She shone with her heart and led with her intuition, and she was 100% Kerry, the woman we can all relate to, feel, and be inspired by. She also told me how much my work had helped her, and she wasn't stingy in her enthusiasm. Oh no, she gave her love to everyone around her, open arms, wide and free for all. We all felt it, basked in it, and we will forever remember it. Thank you, Kerry. I leave India Ari to the end, for my relationship with her is a personal one. 2 years ago, or maybe it was a year ago, when I was in Detroit, where I happened to go back yesterday, a young girl and a man sang a song. It was called I Am Light. I heard it for the first time ever, and my heart literally broke open. I went up to them at the end, and I said, "This song is the emblem of conscious parenting. Did you write it for me?" And they said no, India Ari had written the song. And since that day, I adopted the song as the backdrop for conscious parenting, playing it over and over at every event I can till everyone is sick of hearing it. When I received the invitation to speak at this event and was told that I would be speaking after India Ari and before Eckhart Tolle, I had a thought. Gosh, the universe is manifesting something so mysterious, but so grand, so perfect, so magical. At that point, I didn't even know the half of it. When I went for rehearsal on Friday, on the day before the event, I thought it would be a quick light and mic check. But then Oprah's team of people are so delicious, we just decided to hang around. My friends were with me. After all, Oprah was going to come and rehearse, and then Eckhart was going to come and rehearse, and Amandla, and Carolyn Mace, and India Ari. So we just took our sleeping bags and decided to spend the night there. So, of course, when Oprah and Eckhart and Carolyn and Amandla came, we did have our come to Jesus moment. But for me personally, when India Ari came on stage, I think I kind of died. She did her entire rehearsal for us, and then at the end, we were all thinking to ourselves, no, she's not going to. But yes, she did. She sang, I Am Light. To hear her sing my song for me, I felt it was only for me, was perhaps one of the most touching and profound moments of my life. It was a testament, that things do manifest and that we can intentionally place ourselves in this magnificent stream of consciousness called the collective intelligence. And once we flow in these waters with the highest grace, things actually do get attracted to us. It was 1 year ago in Detroit that I heard the song, And as I typed this blog, which I'm now reading to you, I was flying back to Detroit. And I just felt I had one of those full circle moments, which if you ever have in your life, it's worthy of taking a pause, going within, getting on your knees, and having eternal gratitude. Because these moments are few and far between, but when they happen, you know that you're in the presence of something bigger than yourself and you've entered grace. So this was my unbelievable weekend at Oprah's playground of essence, manifestation, and intention. But here are my biggest takeaways. Chase your happiness, follow your heart. This is the only path to joy. Don't believe the garbage that you need to make money and life is too hard. If you follow your heart, wealth will come in more ways than one and life will be glorious. Only be you and only do you. Don't be a shard of a false self. This is the only way to live in an authentic and real life. Every wrong decision you make, and there will be many, and some will be wretchedly wrong, are designed for our awakening. You are going to marry the wrong person, but also right for your growth. You are going to go bankrupt perhaps, eat really badly, lie, or worse, hurt someone's feelings irretrievably. Wrong choices are part of the growing we need to do. Expect it, preempt it, and when it does happen, don't wallow in it. Be ready to embrace the teaching it has for you. And remember, if Shaka and Cheryl can turn their lives around, so can you. Stop wasting time. The moment is now. Time is precious. Most of us waste our days shackled by this need to be liked, approved, understood. Stop doing this. It is a waste of time. Don't play your life for others. Only play it for yourself, even if this means being alone for 94 days. Live in the present. My wise, beyond belief literary agent, she was also there this weekend, and she said to me in the most profound way, I have 3 kids, and I have fully realized that it is their life and they have a right to live it. I am completely detached. I don't need their life to look a particular way for me. I just don't. I don't want anything for them except for them to be who it is they need to be in the moment. My agent, my magical powerhouse of an agent, she reminded me that we all need to detach from our expectations about the future. This is what Eckhart is a master at. He simply doesn't go to the past or the future. He just stays right here and calls you into the present moment with him. The moment she said that, my agent, I just breathed and let go and surrendered all my fears around my daughter. I hope you will too. Give, and then give some more. This is the final big lesson I got from this weekend. Each person I met this weekend, from the people who put my makeup, did my hair, helped me with my bag, opened my door, my limo driver, to Oprah staff, to Oprah herself, was a giver. A giver with strong and clear boundaries. They each had found a way to give of themselves so that they radiated with energy and power instead of being depleted by it. And this is the key. There's no point to give if in the giving you are taking from your own power source. We can only give, truly give, when we are overflowing with power source. Here is the paradox. We need to give not from the ego. Because when you give from the ego, which means you're coming from lack, means you're giving with conditionality. You're giving to get love, belonging, approval. Please look at me. Please think I'm worthy. When we give from the ego place, we will deplete from our power source. But when we give, and in the giving, we understand that we are receiving connection, essence, inspiration, awakening. That every moment you think you're giving to someone else and you're so martyred and victim, you will deplete from your power source. But when you give, and in the giving, you see that I am giving for me to be connected. I'm giving for me to be alive. I'm giving for me to be engaged. This is for me. Then there is no giving. Then the giving and the receiving are synonymous. They're happening congruently. They're happening in the same moment, each one part of the other. So in essence, the moment of giving and receiving are one and the same. This is true giving. So when you give from the spirit, you constantly receive gifts of awakening, presence, surrender, and inner divinity. The final thread, the most significant chord, the pivotal foundation of this entire weekend for me was that we are all one. we all have ideas about each other. We think to ourselves, Oprah, she's so rich, or she's so famous and she's got it together, or Eckhart is just too transcendent for any of us. And then when you meet these very real, authentic people, you realize, they're just like us. They're still figuring it out. Yes, Oprah is still figuring it out, and she's not afraid to share that with us. And Eckhart, he still hasn't reached his ultimate destination, but every moment is a striving. So this weekend reminded me that we are here in a collective oneness. We are here to support each other. And as long as we can remember that, then we can all triumph. So take charge of your present moment. It is in this moment that you create reverberations for your future. The future doesn't come to you. It's created from this moment. This moment is the only moment of relevance. Enter this moment. So if you're washing the dishes and you are supposed to do that, then enter it, surrender to it, and say, I am washing dishes. And if you're cleaning your child's diaper and you're cleaning up diarrhea or vomit, or you're painting walls or fixing doorknobs, if that is what you're meant to do in that moment, enter it with holy reverence, because that holy reverence puts you in the stream of the collective enterprise, in the stream of grace consciousness. So surrender to the present moment, be aware of the moment, and enter it with joy and complete abandon. Thank you for letting me share with you my insights, my transformation from the most incredible weekend. Thank you.